Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am here with you today doing a video blog hop. I am part of a global video glob hop named Night Angels. This video is part of that, and the next hop member is in the description below. Don't forget about that. I'm going to be making you this really fun project. The theme this month was thanks. So I used the Lighting the Way, which is one of my most favorite bundles. So I used the Lighting the Way stamp set and Lighting the Way dies. This lantern I just adore. And so I made this cute treat project. It's a pull-up, and when you pull out, I'll show you what is wrapped up in there. It's this fun little lemon cookie. They're fantastic, actually. I love anything lemon. And I wanted to bring you this project. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm going to move this into the corner, get the stamp set out of the way. Of course, the first thing that we're going to do is do some scoring. So this piece is 6 5/8 by 4 7/8. Don't let the eighths fool you. I had to use them because of the dimensions of this. So I had to measure this to figure out what size to make the box. But don't let the eighths fool you. Eighths are actually not scary. If you follow me, you'll learn that. So 5/8 just means 5 tick marks on your scoreboard. So we're going to score down the long side first, which is the 6 5/8 side, okay? And we're going to score this at 5/8 of an inch, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks, okay? Not scary at all. Then 3 inches. Then 3 5/8. So here's the 3, and then we're going to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 5/8. And then 6. That's not so bad. And then we're going to turn it counterclockwise and put the short side at the top. And we are going to score it at 4 1/4. So 4 1/4. I know you guys aren't scared of quarters. So there we go. That's all the scoring needed for this really fun box. So let me grab my scissors out and my bone folder because we're going to do some burnishing next. So we're going to go ahead and burnish on all the lines and make sure we have nice creases. That's important when you're making a box so that it's squared. All right. Next, I'm going to do some cutting. So we're going to take this end here, and we're going to get rid of this little square that's formed here at the bottom. So I'm going to cut straight here, up that score line to the first score line that I get to, and I'm going to angle cut here so that there's not bulk in this corner. And then these bottom pieces, I'm going to angle all of the little square tabs. I want those to be angled because they will just fit better, but I'm gonna keep the long rectangle straight. So this one's gonna stay straight because it's gonna be our box closure. You'll see in a minute. But these that are gonna go inside, the tabs that are gonna go inside, I really messed that cut up. There we go. Those are gonna be angled. So we're gonna go ahead and angle that like that. There we go. So that's what it looks like when you're done with your cutting. So very simple. And we are gonna get our glue. And I'm gonna grab my silicone mat. And this is the piece that's going to be glued here, this piece, and this one's going to come and fold right over the top of it, okay? So let me get my glue. We're going to knock that out. I'm actually going to trim off just a hair up this piece. No one's going to see it. I just want a little room there, a little bit of a wiggle room, if you will. So now I'm going to go ahead and add This is the one that had that angle piece, so that corner won't have bulk, which is good. We're gonna go ahead and add our adhesive. And I'll use my bone folder once I've paired it, okay? And we're gonna press that in place. That helps bond our adhesive, okay? So now we're gonna turn in our 2 tabs, and we're gonna find which is the best way to close that. That's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive on this tab here. And then we'll close our box. All right. And this color cardstock that I'm using, I don't think I mentioned it, is Mossy Meadow. All right, so I just want to make sure that my box is straight. So I'm going to hold it without wiggling and press my bone folder inside to hold or close. Make sure that it seals, okay? So we now have our little box nice and closed, sealed and ready, okay? I think it looks cute. I'm happy with it. All right. So we're gonna wrap our little cookies like so. And this is a piece of 3 by 6. It's the All About Autumn paper. I love that it has that beautiful foiling, and I thought that it would be pretty to use for these cookies. So I'm just going to wrap it around like that. It's really simple, just to make it a pretty presentation. So I'm just gonna put a line of adhesive on each end. You'll see what I mean. So I'm just gonna get this one started, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Okay, I'll put a line on each side. I'm just wiggling it so that it gives me nice amount. There we go. And then I'm just gonna take my piece, well, I'm gonna try without making a mess, and bring my paper, and I want it to meet, okay? I want it to be even at the top, even at the bottom. Hopefully I can achieve what I want. I'm just pressing them together. All right, and there is the seam. But the ribbon is gonna cover that, so we're not worried about that. So next we're gonna take our ribbon. Let me see how many inches this is. I didn't measure it. I don't think I wrote it down if I did measure it. Looks like about 19 inches. And this is our copper clay. It's the In Color ribbon for this year. So I'm gonna get my pieces at the top to meet here. We can slide this over if it's not exactly center when it's time. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this. Close it and then tie bow at the top. I want the bow to be at the very top because it's gonna be what I use to pull my pack of cookies in and out of my slider box. This is like the handle, if you will, this bow. So there we go. Tie my little bow. I'm gonna mess with the ends because I don't like when they're that short. All right. All right, I'm happy with that. Maybe pull this one a little, and then I'm gonna puff it up. So this bow has nice texture. It actually holds a nice amount, so just like that. So we're gonna slide this into our box, just like that. See how pretty that is? It's a great presentation. All right, so the bow keeps it at the top. We're just gonna put this off to the side and we're gonna decorate. So I've already die cut one of the lanterns. It's my favorite die in this set, of course, besides the lightning bugs. But I did it out of crushed curry. And I have a piece of basic white cardstock that's 4 2 1/8. I'm gonna set this next to this box here, okay? And the first thing that I'm gonna do is stamp. I have a scrap piece of basic white. I'm gonna grab my Daffodil Delight, And I'm going to stamp the largest circle. I'll show you what. You have 3 circles in the set. The largest one in Daffodil Delight on this piece of scrap paper. Okay. Actually, I don't like what that looks like. I'm going to flip it over. I didn't get it even. This one should be even. There we go. All right, so we're going to punch that out. I'm going to use a 3/4 inch punch. If you don't own that, Stampin' Up! Has had punches, but if you don't own a 3/4 inch punch, get you one. I have them linked in the description of my video. So that is punching out that circle. And we're going to use that right here. So I'm going to turn over my lantern. I'm going to put a dot of glue in the center of that little X. Okay, if I can get it flowing. There we go. And then about 1/4 inch or so, maybe a little more than that, I'm going to put an X. You see that? Just dots of glue. And then I'm going to take my piece and I am going to attach it by putting my circle in the center, okay? And then taking my lantern and placing it over the top so that that X is in the center of that circle, because that is my light source in my lantern, okay? Now, we're gonna put some dimensionals on our lantern, so I'm gonna move my Daffodil Delight out of the way for right now, and we're gonna start putting some dimensionals. And I'm gonna be using some edges. For those of you who have never seen me or watched me, I use a lot of dimensionals, so if that's a trigger for you, I'm sorry. But I can't help it. It's just how I am. So I'm going to use a lot of them because I like my projects to stay in place. And I just think that adhesive helps me to do that. All right, so I'm doing that. And then I'm going to grab the edges of our mini glue dots. When I'm done with my mini glue dots, I save these edges and I use them to cut little strips if I need them to fit in for a card or, you know, whatever I need them for. And so I cut some little edges here because I think we need some more adhesive down these edges of our lantern. So I'm going to put 3 if I can get them off. Sometimes I have a hard time removing them from the sheet. All right, so there's 1, 2. And to me, it just adds stability to my project, which is why I use so much adhesive. But if you don't like this much adhesive, it's okay. You don't have to put as much as me. You can just put a couple dimensionals and be done with it. I definitely go the extra mile and put plenty of adhesive. I need 3 on each one, and I only had enough room for 2. Okay, so let's put the 3 on the other side, and then we're just going to set this aside to wait its turn until it's time to bring our lantern back. But I just wanted to get the lantern completely prepped and ready to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that up here and it's ready to go. All right, let's do a little stamping in Memento Tuxedo Black. I have 2 pieces because I didn't know how much I would need. All right, so we're gonna use the sentiment that says, "Thanks for lighting the way." And we're just gonna stamp that in Tuxedo Black Memento. And I'm gonna cut, I don't know if I can fit it on that piece. I think I can. I thought I might need another one, so I grabbed another scrap, but I think it will fit. I'm hoping anyway. Let's see. Ooh, too close. I don't like it that close. Let's use the other one. See, I knew I brought it for a reason. All right, let's put it there. All right, much better. And I'm gonna fussy cut this. So let me clean my stamp. If you don't like fussy cutting or watching somebody fussy cut, now's the time to go grab a cup of coffee or fast forward through this video. All right. I'm gonna separate the word thanks from the rest of it, and also the word for. I thought it fit best on the lantern if I separated them. And so I'm just fussy cutting around each word. I didn't want to really cover up the entire lantern, which is why I decided to fussy cut these words. I didn't have a lot of room for words, but I definitely wanted this sentiment. I think it's such a cool sentiment. I wanted it on my project 100%. And so this was my solution. All right, so we'll almost done with the thanks. I just have to go around that T. I had to trim away that excess cardstock. There we go. All right, so there's our thanks. See, it didn't take that long. And then we're gonna do the for. That'll be by itself, and then the rest of it will be all one unit. So that will be the fastest amount of fussy cutting. When it's a smaller piece, like these words that I'm doing separately, it does take a little bit longer, but I only had 2 of them, and they're not that long of a word, so. All right, so we're working our way around the word for. And let's get around that F. All right. Almost done. I have to snip that top piece. All right, now comes the easy part. Hopefully you've grabbed your cup of coffee if you didn't want to watch me fussy cut. I did try and leave it as a strip without fussy cutting the words because I thought it would be a lot quicker project, but I felt like it covered up too much of the lantern, and since the lantern is kind of the star of our show, I didn't want it to be too covered, so cutting the words was the way to go. Since the font is not that big, cutting it out is the way. All right, we're halfway there. We're in the home stretch. So we're gonna get around, we're on the word the, and then lighting, and we're finished. All right, you guys have hung in there with me, I appreciate it. All right, so let's get around this T, and almost finished. Good thing I brought that second piece of Daffodil Delight scrap that I had, because see, I stamped that other one way too close. All right, we're done. We made it through the fussy cutting. All right, now we're gonna do a little stamping, a little fun. All right, so I'm gonna use wet adhesive to attach my words very easily and simply. I'm just gonna go ahead and start here at the bottom and put adhesive on all 3 pieces like that. And I'm going to use my tweezers. If you guys don't have tweezers, get you some. I do have some linked in the description of my video if you are interested and you don't have any. I love them when I have to touch glue because see what happens? You don't have to touch it. Your tweezers do all the dirty work for you. Okay, so it says, thanks for lighting the way. Now my lantern is ready. We're gonna put it to the side. Let's do some stamping. So I have this little scrap paper. I like to use scrap paper. And we're going to be using 3 colors. I'm moving these guys out of the way so I have room for my ink. We're gonna use Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, and Daffodil. And I'm gonna be cleaning in between. I can move them back now. So I have to get my chamois ready because we will be cleaning in between each piece. So I'm gonna try and leave it open, and doesn't normally like to stay open. There we go. All right, and so I have a Calypso Coral dauber and a Cajun Craze dauber. And I know I am down. I'm gonna move these up a little. You don't need all the ink pad. You need more of this than anything else. All right, there we go. I'm going to angle that. So this stamp is from the Lighting the Way. It's this branch right here. And so I'm going to multicolor it for fall. So we're going to go ahead and add our Daffodil Delight first. It's our lightest color. And then I'm going to grab some Calypso Coral. And I'm going to dip in here and add some Calypso Coral leaf area. And then I'm going to grab my Cajun Craze. I'm going to add a couple dark ones. And I'm also going to work my way down the stem with that color. And then all we're going to do is we're going to bring it in from different angles. I'm going to start this one from the top. So like the leaves are starting to change. And the reason I have to clean in between is I don't want to muddy up my Daffodil Delight ink pad. Okay, these other colors are darker and they can handle the yellow on them, but the yellow can't handle those colors inside of it. So we're working our way from lightest to darkest. And then I work my way through the stem. And you can see how pretty that is. You get a variation of color. And I want to come from different angles, different places. You know, I don't want it to look the same. Let's see if I bring that one there. Fabulous. Let's clean. Leave a little more yellow this next time. Not quite cover up as much of the yellow. And we'll do a little Cajun. So you just work your way up and down your piece, okay? And you want there to be like this is coming from different spots. See how pretty that is? And then I'm going to do two more small ones. I only need the top, but I'm going to go ahead and ink it all because I don't know exactly how much is going to show. I'm going to add some color. Work our way down here just in case, but I don't think I'm going to need all of that. So I'm going to fill right here in this corner. I think I want it to come from this direction. Right there. See how pretty that is? And then we'll do it one more time. And we'll do this corner here. And then we're going to do some dark. And I want it to show that it's dark outside, but this lantern is what's showing you the pretty fall leaves. Okay, that's the whole point. I don't even know if I'm getting it across, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this one right here, coming from this side. All right, very happy with that. All right, let me clean my stamp. So see, you can take daubers and your ink pads and turn your solid stamps into multicolored, which I think is so fun. So let's close these guys. I'm gonna add Memento now. We're gonna use a different leaf. I'll show it to you. It's this leaf right here, and we're gonna do lots of those, but the nice thing is that we're gonna use black ink, make it simple. We're gonna put these from the bottom because it's dark outside and the leaves are basked in darkness. I'm gonna have them come from different directions. Isn't that pretty? Such a beautiful stamp set. And I want to overlap these so it looks like there's really a lot of stuff going on in this forest because we're camping, right? All right, I think that's good. Let's clean this one. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it nighttime, but with a lantern. So I had to try and figure out what colors I was gonna use, and I decided to use Crumb Cake because it would give it some darkness, but not blackness. So I didn't wanna go too dark. So I'm gonna color in the background with a blending brush. I'm using a small blending brush and Crumb Cake ink, and you can see that it's starting to darken up my sky around my fall leaves here. And we're gonna add crumb cake around the whole piece. I'm gonna add another layer at the top to darken it just slightly more. Remember, it's nighttime, but the lantern is illuminating. That's why you could see these leaves, okay? All right, next, let's add our lantern. And then last but not least, we're going to add our little dragonflies. So I'm gonna take the backs off of the large ones first, to regular size dimensionals, I should say. And then the little small pieces that I've cut, if I can get my fingers off. And I use my take your pick tool. Oops. Well, I try not to remove the dimensional, just the backing. I use my take your pick tool to remove the backing, because if not, they don't end up in the trash can, and I don't want to step on dimensionals and drag them all over my house. So this is how I ensure that they end up in the garbage. All right, on to the next step. So we're gonna add our lantern. So pretty. If I can get my fingers off these dimensionals, goodness gracious. All right, so I'm gonna bring it up a little bit from the bottom, like that, and we're gonna put our lantern in place. And that lantern is lighting up that area above. That's why you can see all the pretty fall leaves. So what I'm gonna do next is add some mini lightning bugs. They're gonna be black, because as you know, most of their bodies are black. We're gonna put one there, one coming down here, and one from this side. Because of course they're drawn to the light, right? All right, so there's those three. And then the final step, wait until you see how cute this is. I'm gonna clean those lightning bugs. Grab my scrap just in case I need it. We're gonna add some light coming from their little butts. You guys know they have little lit up areas. So we're gonna give some more light from the back end here of our lightning bugs. And there we go. So there's the light coming from them. I think that's so cool. All right, let's attach to the top of our box. And yes, once again, I'm going to attach it with dimensionals, probably a large amount. All right, let's see. All right, take a pick tool to the rescue. And then we will attach onto our box. All right, let's go ahead and make sure I'm holding it up because I need to make sure it's even, and then I will show it to you. I love how it looks raised. So there is our beautiful pull-out cookie treat with lighting the way. So I call this Thank You Fall Treat Box. I think it turned out pretty awesome. I hope that you enjoyed watching me put it together. Once again, I used the Lighting the Way stamp set and dies, and a few ink colors for fall, right? So let's bring those guys back in. The star of the show, the All About Autumn paper was our wrap. So that should be coming back in stock. I think it's out right now, but it should be coming back in stock next week. Get you some then. And if you need any of the punches or the cookies, I'll link them all in the description of the video. Thanks for being here. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!